we started, and Cultivo has always been a global company, but to your point, back to that element of what we provide to our investors is a balanced portfolio. So we, over the last 2 years, have continued to balance that portfolio to now, I would say, be US focused and rest of the world with projects in Latin America and Africa, a few others in Asia. And the opportunities that are in the global south is that in general, the spread, the gains that you can have in biodiversity, in water, definitely from a social aspect, will be higher in the global south. Now, complexities that you have there is that you have, back to the risk adjusted calculation, would be that you have a higher risk at the national level, depending on where you're operating. For example, between global south or majority world OECD countries and non-OECD countries. And so sometimes the biggest challenge that we have with investors is, even though the financial models of a project, let's say in a country in Latin America or in a country in Africa, could look a lot more attractive than those in the global north, when you start adding those country level risks, it's still looking good, but it's just this mental step that is really at the core of the investment thesis of an investment manager, to be able to actually deploy capital to riskier countries. Even though we might have managed completely the risk or as much as possible, sometimes it really needs that investment thesis approval, investment committee approval to be able to go to a global south. So there is a mental step there, Laurie, that I think some asset managers are just very comfortable because they've had their own personal experience of deploying capital there. And that, I would say, now, after 5 years of doing this, that is the biggest hurdle. Now, the good thing is that there are many investors like that. And so that's how we cater to different types of investors, those that are looking more of perhaps slightly lower return, but less risk from a national perspective or geographic perspective. We can provide portfolios, for example, like in the US, versus others that could have a more comfortable experience investing in Latin America or Africa or India, for example.